realistic would a Shohei Ohtani trade be now that the Rangers are so good? So through 55 games, it's the best Rangers record in club history. And one of the issues that we had going back to the Shohei Ohtani trade was, well, he's not likely to stay here, or that seems to be the prevailing wisdom, is you don't pick him up if you're still a ways away and you're like fighting for a playoff berth. And there's 2/3 of the season left. But this Rangers team is a contender. We talked about CBS, MLB, The Athletic all had the Rangers ranked number 2 in their power rankings. ESPN's power rankings came out this morning. They have the Rangers at number 3. So across the board, the Rangers are a consensus top 3 team in baseball at this moment. Does it now make more sense, though it will still be very, very costly, to make a trade for Shohei Ohtani? Because you look at it and you're like, we might be able to win the whole damn thing.
I have changed my mind on trading for Shohei. I have said no for most of this season, or even, let's say, before the season, because I'm like, you're not a Shohei Ohtani away. But now I think you are. Now, does he answer your question of bullpen help? No. But you now get one of the 10 best pitchers in all of baseball. You can argue where he is, but he is in the top 10 of all pitchers in baseball. And you get one of the best designated hitters in all of baseball on your team. So all of a sudden your lineup changes to, I'm going to assume Simeon and Seager bat 1, 2, and now Shohei bats 3. Lowe goes to 4. Adolis Garcia 5. Josh Young 6, Jonah Heim 7, and then round out the last 2 with, let's say, Leody Taveras batting 9th, I guess, and then you can have Ezekiel Duran or Robbie Grossman.
If Jonah Heim is 7th, this kind of goes back to the discussion we had about hey, did you see where Napoli used to hit in the lineup at a time where maybe not everybody knew him, but he was doing great. Same with Heim.
Here's the other thing too, which when I start looking at this team, this is not a team built for future success yet. I'm looking at our rotation, Rangers rotation. Corey, of all these 33, Jonathan Gray's 31, Andrew Heaney's 31, Martin Perez is 32, and DeGrom, who's out right now, he's 34, 35 years old. I don't have his
bunch of old pitchers right there.
That's not something that you look at and go, oh man, 3-4 years from now we still should be in good shape with our pitching. No, you start Corey Seager's 29, Marcus Simeon's 32,
and
this is a bridge,
and we all know the hope exactly because we all know the hope about, let's just say, Win, Rocker, Leiter. I hear what you're saying, but we don't know. One of them's hurt. One of them has not been good, and the other one has been very inconsistent, but on a hot streak right now. We can all hope for the best, but we don't know.
So as I look at this team, it's way more of a now team than I kind of was picturing in my mind. I was like, okay, there's going to be, to your point, there's going to be this bridge. They're going to be pretty good as these guys start fading. Then you have your prospects, hopefully like an Evan Carter, and these guys come up and really help. But now I start looking at it and go, these guys have at least proven to me that they can win it all. Now, there needs to be a little bit more help, and 2 to 3 bullpen pieces need to be added. That's the biggest weakness of this team. And I would say, hey, the starting rotation has been great. I don't know if Jacob deGrom's going to come back healthy. I don't want to believe that. I want to believe he's going to come back and have about 15 great starts to finish this year, and he is going to roll into the playoffs ready to go. But if you were to trade a lot of your prospects or some of your main prospects for Shohei Ohtani, Jacob deGrom doesn't become as important for the 2023 playoff run because now Shohei takes your number 1 spot in your rotation, and Jacob deGrom, you don't have to rely on him as much. Now that's crazy to say. Just sign a 5-year, $185 million contract, but this team looks really special to me. And this would be a guy who takes your offense, already number 1 in baseball, to legitimately this is the scariest lineup on a piece of paper.
He hit 2 more home runs last night.
Now we need,
and when he hits home runs, they look different. I don't know what I know swing level through and then up. That's what Miggy always said. It just looks like he just catches the ball and then throws it into the outfield.
Yeah, he is amazing. But now I look at it, Corey, and I just go, this team can win it all. Now, it can't just be adding Shohei. You need to add a couple bullpen pieces. But if you add Shohei to this, And the other thing, too, we discussed this yesterday as we wanted to discuss this topic. Yesterday we had a shorter show is you start looking at this. If you trade for Shohei, there is the fear that he doesn't sign here. He plays here and then he goes and signs with the Dodgers or the Giants or something like that. But if he comes here and you win in the playoffs, I'm not saying win the World Series, but he comes here and you make it to the ALCS, and let's just say you end up coming up short against Tampa Bay or something like that.
Sure.
Doesn't that give him a lot of, I want to come back and try this again with this team?
And that's what I think is the key. Like, obviously money will still push the pace, but would you get in a situation where if the Rangers even match the top offer, they win? Because right now, if they match, they ain't winning. Like, I think there is a tiny shot that Shohei would just sign here. And I'm talking like 0.0001.
Yeah.
But if he came here, if things went well, you do have, and we've talked about this with trades before, you do have, a 4-month window to sell him on your product without having to, sit down at a table or anything.
And you need the Angels to start playing worse because they're in the hunt for a wild card spot. They're even somewhat still in the hunt to win the division. Now, I don't think they're good enough. I think they'll fade. But you have to get them to fade enough where the reality is Shohei is kind of telling the Angels or his, agent, hey, we're probably going to move on. It's 6 years. We haven't won anything. We're not going to the playoffs this year. And I'm going to move on to a team that looks like they're more built to win because this just doesn't look like it's going to work out here in Anaheim. So I just go, hey, maybe the Rangers now look at it and go, it's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen at the end of June. But come trade deadline, if he is available, this now makes more sense to me to kind of sell the farm and go all in for winning the championship in 23.
So we've come to the agreement. Hopefully, I see a lot of Tolos are saying they're in.
Can I ask real quick, is he DH?
Yes.
Primarily then?
That's all he does.
Okay.
He doesn't play the field.
What's it going to cost? Because I'm only looking at the Fantex at this moment.
Yeah.
But I'm hopeful that the Twitch, the YouTube is on board with just the concept, because then you move into the price and you can like something all you want until you see the price, and that could change everything. What are we talking about in terms of return?
I think this to win it, because there's going to be teams that if Ohtani becomes available after the All-Star break, you're going to be competing with probably the Mets, the Yankees, the Dodgers, possibly, maybe even teams that are on the edge that also are like, look, we'll sell a little bit here to make sure that he gets into our organization. Yep. So I do think to win it, I'm going to try to keep Evan Carter out of it. I'm going to try really hard to keep Evan Carter out of it. But I'm going to go with prospects 2 through 5. And you tell me if this is too much, and you say no.
I mean, but just before you say the name, that sounds like it hurts.
Owen White, Luis Angel Acuna, Jack Leiter, and Brock Porter. Now, maybe you don't want to trade 3 of your pitching prospects. Maybe you're like, I'm not trading 3 of my pitching prospects. So you say, you can pick 2 of the 3 pitching prospects. White, Leiter, Porter, pick 2 of the 3. And then out of, let's say, Acuna, Foscue, they probably want Acuna for sure. So you have to include Acuna. So now out of Foscue, let's say Harris and Zavala, you pick 1 of those 3. Now, the thing is maybe the Angels say that's not enough. I'll ask you this. What if they say, we want Owen White, Jack Leiter as the 2 pitchers. We want Luis Angel Acuna, and we want the 4th overall pick.
And you can trade picks.
You make the selection.
You make the
selection,
right? So yeah, because the pick will be at the All-Star break, and then you can even if you can't trade him immediately, you can say he's a player to be named later, knowing that he's going.
All right, give me that option again.
Owen White, Jack Leiter as your pitchers going in the trade,
and the 4th pick,
and Luis Angel Acuna,
and the 4th pick.
Yep,
I'm not opposed to it.
I think I'm doing it.
I mean, it could put you over the top.
It hurts. Like, that hurts a lot. And I know people are going to be like, that's a ton. I think
you still have Evan Carter. I did not include your number 1 prospect in this.
And there are 2 ways to look at the draft. You're acquiring assets, chips, if you will, or you're acquiring future players. Acuna is interesting because he's playing great. He's playing really good baseball right now. But White, Acuna, Leiter, and a pick, I can say that got me what I needed out of it. That's why you build up your developmental rosters.
I do think that the Angels are going to want more ready now guys because of Mike Trout.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because
it's very unlikely we'll get into a total fire sale.
Right. I'm not sure how much they're going to love 18-year-olds right now that they might really like Brock Porter and go, we will wait on him for 2 to 3 years because we think he's y'all's best pitching prospect. Maybe they do that with one of the guys, but I could see them looking more towards, and maybe they would be like, well, we'd rather have, I don't think so, but they might go, we'd rather have Ezekiel Duran than Luis Angel Acuna because he's already proven he can hit at a major league level.
But what if they do say then, hey, we're giving you the best player in baseball. This trade's a non-starter without Evan Carter. Because now you're talking about somebody that is close.
Yeah. I get scared of that, but I go, all right, it's Evan Carter and a pitcher.
Yeah, and I'm going lower level pitchers. Yeah, I'm definitely changing.
Well, let me ask you this:
lot.
if it's Evan Carter and Jack Leiter, do you do it? Just two for one, Evan Carter, Jack Leiter.
Maybe. I mean, as good as Jack Leiter's pitching right now, there's nothing proven about him. It's not like he's a lights out guarantee. So I still have some things that I'm dealing with. He might end up being a really good pitcher. I know for this year alone, this year specifically, that puts me in even better position to do what I want to do. I still have questions of now how much am I depleting my roster, my lower level roster for bullpen.
Well, and I was just going to say, there's a couple of people who are like, yeah, it's just a rental. And then I've seen a couple of people go, why not just try to get him in free agency? I hear you. Mike, I know you've brought this up. I fundamentally believe because of issues of where he's from, proximity and everything like that, you have little to no chance, and mostly no chance, of picking up as a free agent. The only thing is, this is a 4-month interview that he's performing on the Rangers.
And really
to see
only
if he
a
wants
2-month
to
interview.
I know
you're saying 4, but he's probably only going to get traded at the end of July.
He's not going to get traded today. That's a good point. So you have 2 months to convince him that he should stay, both with your facilities, your people, your manager, your
international airport.
That's right. As a giant.
Also,
it's a massive thing.
I do believe this. If the Rangers are thinking about doing this, trading for Ohtani, if he becomes available in July, you have to be wanting to give him $60 million a year over an 8 to 10 year contract. So that's another thing that if you're not willing to give him a $60 million a year contract, I don't think you should really engage in the Shohei Ohtani bidding war if there is one. So, because I do want to keep him. I would hate to trade Evan Carter and Jack Leiter. Let's just say it's a 2-for-1. I would hate to do that and then him go sign with the Dodgers or San Francisco or Seattle after you had him for a 2-month period. But I do think this team is now good enough to consider doing this.
And I think this is kind of what it boils down to for a lot of people from the 940. I'm not trading the next decade for a rebuild for Ohtani. And then the next one from the 573, I have Profar PTSD. I do that trade every day of the week because the Rangers do have a ragged track record of these prospects that were supposed to be the dude, and then not so much.
I'm just looking at this. I wrote down the lineup, Mike, and I have Jankowski in left field.
All right, yeah.
And Taveras and Garcia. And then I looked at the pitching, and my 3 pitchers, hell, I do feel with Gray also. I feel like I can go into a 4-game series, and I'm pitching the best pitchers.
You will not have a better staff.
If DeGrom were to be healthy, which is honestly,
yes.
Let's be honest here. It's 50-50. He's going to be healthy if there is a playoff run. Is that if you had him healthy and you went, let's just say you went DeGrom game 1, Ohtani game 2, and Evaldi game 3 in your first round. Let's just say you have to play the 3-game series and you don't get a bye.
Yes.
That's really tough for a team to look at and go, we're better than those 3 guys. There's no way you're better than those 3 guys. And then if you do get to the next round, you add John Gray to that rotation. You're not adding like, oh no, what do we do? Like, you are set up to dominate a team through pitching. And then your offense, adding Ohtani, you're by far, I think, the best offense in all of baseball. If you take this offense and you add Ohtani to the 3 spot,